This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Manny Navarro. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I'm sneaking in breakfast here as fast as I can. I went downstairs. I got my mother-in-law making me a café con leche with a little bit of toast, and I'm trying to maneuver a lot of different things. But I'm good, brother. How are you?
Very good. So you broke the story yesterday of Frank Ponce leaving to Appalachian State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if I tell you it had nothing to do with football?
Had everything to do with his wife.
Exactly.
I wouldn't call it a stretch.
Well, because this is what I'm told, because nobody has it in any of their stories, because you guys aren't going to get personal. But from what I'm told is the man met a woman that was living here, I believe, and then he was in Appalachian State. She then moves to Appalachian State. I think she even has a job there. He then says, honey, I got a job in Miami. She's like, oh, shit, what? And so he comes to Miami. And then I think there's a thing called, I really love this woman. Boone, by the way, is a terrific area to live in. Family life, quality of life. Western Carolina is actually a pretty cool area. Not because I'm looking into it, by the way, Eastern Tennessee or Western Carolina, but it's just one of those things that I've been studying, and the quality of life in those areas are pretty cool, by the way. But anyway, I hear it was more that, because we've been talking about, they're going to be changes, and some people are like, oh, no, Frank Ponce must have been the problem. I'm like, no, dude, from everything I hear, it was really more about a personal thing than anything that had to do professional. And then it happens to be that he loves that area. He was great there. They love him there. And it kind of all works out. Am I completely off here?
No, I don't think you're completely off. I think that's certainly a factor in terms of part of the reason why he would want to go back. I think Frank certainly enjoyed his time at Appalachian State. He gets to be around the woman he loves, be in an area that he loves to live in.
He didn't want to boonch in her.
Right. And I think the other aspect of it all too, is he gets to call plays, which I don't think he was going to get that opportunity here with Miami. And as much as him and Mario are buddies and go way back, I think ultimately there's a need for him at Appalachian State to be the play caller. They had a drop off compared to the year before when he was there, and so I think he's going to go in there. He's going to do a great job, and somebody's going to hire him to be a Power 5 offensive coordinator the next couple of years.
Yeah, or he becomes the head coach at Appalachian State.
Right. I think my money was on FIU for a while. I thought maybe FIU would smarten up and bring home a guy like Frank who has a ton of experience and knows the area well, and I think would do a good job at a place like FIU or FAU or one of those schools. But, look, everybody has the right time. And at some point, that'll happen for Frank. I'm convinced.
Frank Ponce loves his woman, baby.
He does. Can't blame him.
I don't blame him at all. In fact, I started off the show talking about how Tom Brady, completely just whiffed, dude. Like, the selfishness that he did after he won the title in Tampa, he had nothing else to prove. And he played the second year, and that's it, dude. You didn't get back to the championship game. Don't you notice? And look where you are now. It's gradually gotten worse, and you hung on for an extra year for no reason. And clearly you had an agreement with that woman. Like, I'm going to go to Tampa for 2 years, try to make a run, and then, dedicate myself to the family. And so it's kind of interesting, this whole thing. I was waiting for you to come on because I was told about all this Frank Ponce stuff. And it was like, oh, okay, now I know what's going on here, because at first I thought, wow, was he part of the issues? Because he's always been known as a good coach everywhere he's been. You know what I mean? All the way from Miami High, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
That's where it started. Yeah, as a head coach. That's how far we go back anyway, when I was doing the high schools for the Miami Herald. And
the Cuban chisme, where do you think it comes from, baby, huh? ¿Dónde tú crees que el chisme viene? Whoa, hey, come on.
That's right, brother.
Insight, bro. That's why.
That's a Miami High connection. I didn't doubt you. For a second, brother. I know that's where it comes from.
Come on, dude. They all explained it to me like, no, bro, she left for him, and then he left her. And it's like, And it's like, yeah, I'm sure it was an uncomfortable year for him and then she's like, yo, man, I sacrificed for your ass. I went
Yeah,
there.
leave Channel 7 to come up to Boone, North Carolina for you. So,
Oh, see, you're giving even more info than I am now.
yeah, I didn't say what her name was. I just said I left it. I left it where it was.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, how you find out the shit on this platform. Okay, this is where you find out, not on any other place out there. But anyway, so any other pieces starting to either connect or fall?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're at a point where I would be surprised if Josh Gaddis is back as offensive coordinator. I think I can say that confidently, that I think there will be a change there at some point. When that happens, when all of that gets finalized and all that, we may still be some time away from that. But I think the expectation, at least out of the University of Miami, from a lot of people, a lot of important people, I think there will be changes as far as more changes to the offensive staff. And obviously, I think whoever they would bring in to be offensive coordinator, assuming that's something that happens here in the next couple of weeks, you want them to work with the quarterbacks versus the situation the way it was built right now, where Josh Gaddis was coaching the wide receivers and then going in and serving as the offensive coordinator. You want the quarterbacks coach to be working with, as the offensive coordinator, working with the quarterbacks all the time. And I think, you can blame Miami struggles on a lot of different things, but I certainly think that, maybe you adjust that part of the format with whoever else comes in here.
The Cromani watch. What are we doing with the Cromani watch?
Well, interesting development. Obviously, on Friday, Miami's coaching staff, defensive coaching staff, drove up to Lakeland to go talk with him in person. He is a Miami commitment, and of course, he wasn't there. He was on the road at Colorado, visiting Deion Sanders, and didn't communicate well with the Miami coaching staff. I think at this point, based on some
That's a
conversation,
boring ass drive too from Coral Gables to Lakeland, bro.
that's not a fun.
You gotta take 27 to get there, bro. That shit is lame.
Got to come down by
bro.
my house. Out by West Broward High School. You got to pass through there to get over. Look, I think I think ultimately here, I don't expect Cormani McClain to be in Miami's class. I think Gabby Urrutia kind of signaled the white flag, right, when he projected the crystal ball for him to end up at Colorado. There's a reason, all of us write and say and do some of the things that we do as journalists. I think it's inevitable. Now, I will say this: I think the head coach at Miami, who loves winning recruiting battles and is not going to go down without a fight, will probably continue to push and make an effort because. But I think for the most part, the rest of the staff has kind of come to terms with the fact that Cormani is probably going to play at Colorado next year.
I just, as the late great Mad Dog would say, I put it to my nosy and they don't smell so rosy. And the guy is just so driven by money, simply by money, that it's just kind of dangerous. I almost feel like we're going to get the early part of oh God, what's the name of the kid that went over to FAU, the quarterback that was really
N'Kosi Perry.
Remember, he with the money and all that stuff early, he
Yeah.
was, kind of immature and all that.
Right.
I almost feel that we're getting a page of that. Whoever gets him is going to have to deal with that kind of stuff, that the guy may be more into himself and all that other stuff than necessarily, about the team. And
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation. With recruiting nowadays, and to me, I said this on a podcast I recorded earlier this morning for the Athletic, but I would move the early signing period up to the middle of August, right before the season starts. And obviously, there's a lot of other laws that have to be broken into place here, but I would say, if you sign in August, you can start collecting NIL legally. You can start getting paid as a high school senior to be committed to a program, and the school and the collective have to, in other words, move everything up to avoid a lot of this nonsense that goes on late, where everybody, you make a commitment, you get to the final month, and then you don't sign, or you do sign and the collective pulls the money from you like they did to Jaden Rashada up at the University of Florida. I think it has to work both ways. I think most college coaches. I was in Charlotte last week, as you know. I was on the show here when I was up there in Charlotte talking to people, and I think the majority of coaches, college coaches, want a better calendar setup here for recruiting. To avoid situations like this where you go into January, you're having coaching change, you're having all this movement between players and coaches, and it's this constant flow of crap that's always going on. I think you want to end the constant flow of crap. Have certain periods to sign guys, make your coaching change, do everything you need to do, and get it all squared away. So I think I'm hoping that within the next year or so that's something that happens here.
By the way, what is going to go on with Jaden Rashada now that he got the bait and switch at Florida?
Well, obviously he's not enrolled for classes right now, and so to me, he's not going to be there for the spring. Whether or not he gets released from his scholarship, his national letter of intent that he signed, we'll have to see. I think ultimately this could end up in court. I mean, there are signed documents that I think his family have from an NIL collective that basically, say he's going to make $13 million, and now all of a sudden they want to back out of that deal. Legally, that's going to have to be scrutinized. How they determine all that, will be very, very interesting and a headache for my colleague at The Athletic, Alan Taylor, who covers the Florida Gators. But essentially, I think this could end up in court.
Wow. Okay. That is
first of its kind.
13 million? That was the contract that they were going to give that kid?
Yeah, I can confirm for The Athletic. We ran the story saying 13 million. I can tell you on good authority that that's the number. I was told 12 million when I was in Charlotte. I was surprised to learn it was 13. Yes.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that was over the length of the contract with incentives. I don't think that was 13 million per year or anything of that nature. I think it was 4 years, 13 million. Still a lot of money.
Yeah, no, that's 12,900,000 too much, but that's all right. Anyways, it is what it is. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What do you got going on The Athletic so folks can subscribe and follow you, my man?
Yeah, new recruiting confidential series for the ACC that Grace Rayner and I, Grace covers Clemson. We tag teamed on that together, talked to about 11 different high school coaches on a variety of subjects regarding recruiting, which coaches do the best job, which coaches are unprepared, how many guys show up and only offer kids because somebody else already offered them. A lot of interesting, fun questions regarding recruiting with guys that send college players. I mean, we didn't talk to Joe Schmo at some high school that doesn't produce NFL and college football talent. We talked to some of the best people anonymously, of course. Nobody wants to hurt feelings, but we did talk to good people, good coaches that produce a lot of talent to get their opinions on which recruiters do the best job and why, how NIL plays a factor. It's a 2-part series. Part 1 came out today. Part 2 will come out, I think, either tomorrow or Thursday.
Go to The Athletic and check it out. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday. Appreciate you.
All right, good talking to you. Take care.
For all the news and all the achievement. There you go. That's what you get. You see, you get insight and achievement right here on the program, on the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.